हम नशी तुझको है एक पुर मंजिल की तलाश।
अशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाहु वहदहु ला शरीका लहु व अशहदु अन्ना मुहम्मदन अब्दुहु व रसूलुहु।
These are the words that every Khadim repeats as he takes his oath, to pledge allegiance to a flag that goes beyond love for all and hatred for none. And where today at the National Ijtema, we are reminded of how to live our lives by being at one as a group of young men and boys, sacrificing our lives to be the very best through acting upon the words of the Khalifa who has been chosen to lead us no matter the hurdles ahead.
हम नशी तुझको है एक पुर मंजिल की तलाश।
सलामु अलैकुम या जमाअ, सलामु अलैकुम।
The Ijtema in itself is an Arabic word which means gathering, and what you see kind of before you is essentially a gathering specifically of the youth of the organisation, which is Khuddam al-Ahmadiyya.
You can have many kind of festivals that might be on the same kind of scale. You can have many other events that are held in huge farmland and similar kind of operation. But what differentiates us is that you've got 6,000-7,000 people that will be coming here only for the remembrance of Allah and for the love of Khilafat as well, to actually come here, be a part of something special, be a part of that brotherhood, a part of Majlis Khuddam al-Ahmadiyya, and catch a glimpse of Huzur and reinforce our spiritual state, really.
I think when you look at other events, there seems to be a common purpose where people are going there to events almost, how can I say, seek their own pleasures, whereas this event is purely for the sake of God. People are coming here to actually improve themselves by being in the company of people, of like-minded individuals. And as a result, they're actually learning a lot. They're learning things that they may not necessarily know before.
And I think the biggest fundamental unique selling point of Ijtema is, and we're quite lucky that we have Huzur Aqdas residing here with us in the United Kingdom, and we're able to observe namaz behind Huzur. We're able to have Huzur here and host Huzur in that sense.
Normally in the past, Huzur bin Aziz normally attend Ijtema on Friday, so we have an opportunity to offer namaz from Friday till Sunday behind Huzur. And as a Majlis, I think this is a unique feature, and we are blessed, and I hope the Majlis don't take these things as for granted.
The theme of this year's Ijtema is Salat, and the reason that was chosen was because, you know, as you know full well, Huzur's emphasis for the last year or so, even beyond that, has been constantly reminding us towards the remembrance of Allah and observing our Salat as well. So it was in line with that we thought it's very important to reinforce Khalifa Abu Bakr's message back to our Khuddam as well, and make sure they understand the true purpose of why we're here.
मरहला कोई सर नहीं होता।
Now each and every year, in over 200 nations across this global sphere, a National Ijtema is held, where we come together to be reminded of this timeless statement, that we all need to strive hard to reform ourselves. And if Rome wasn't built in a day, neither would our reformation be complete without persevering through the hardest of days. But to reform ourselves will be a treasure worth crawling across the glaciers of ice or traveling the 7 seas for to change the world and truly be an example of what success means, then we need to crawl on our knees to a God who is far more merciful than the kindest of beings.
सर नहीं
By the grace of Allah, the Ijtema is always expanding, it's always changing, there's new facets coming in, new aspects that are attracting in new crowds.
And it's 5,000 Qadam plus coming from all over the UK, including Scotland, Wales as well, all just to gather together. Ultimately, the amount of blessings that we're all getting, the beauty of it is I get to see people that I don't get to see all year, and this is the flagship event where we all get to meet, and there's nothing more beautiful than that alone.
So in Ijtema we have lots of different activities. Our 50% of activities are based are sports or outdoor activities. There are outdoor activities like football matches or cricket matches or athletics and different sort of competitions. But another section, 50% of that competitions are based on academic competitions like Tilawat, Nazam and speech competitions, Azan competitions. So one side is your physical development and physical training, and you learn discipline in doing different sports activities, and the other part is your religious knowledge, and increase in your religious knowledge is another purpose of the Ijtema. So
the competition is one thing, but winning isn't the essence of it. It's actually taking part, making those friendships, meeting each other and praying and understanding why we're here.
So this year I know you've got the Sports Youth Hub as well, which is something Mohtamim Setid Samani Osman Batsab is arranging as well. So you've got a lot of indoor sports activities there. We've got the hub returning this year, which is just behind me there. And in that you've got a number of activities to not only engage in terms of like punch machine and virtual reality and things like that, but also to actually educate as well. So you've got things like Allegations Corner, where the common allegations against the Jamaat, against Hazrat Masih Maud Islam and the Khulafa, those allegations are addressed. Even things like, you know, Islam's supposed oppression of women, these kind of things are addressed as well. So there's a whole mix of things, including the ever popular Ask a Murabbi as well, where people can anonymously ask any questions.
You know, it never ceases to amaze. I think one of the blessings of the Jamaat is that year upon year, where you see people kind of move on from the auxiliary. Obviously, as the nature of the organisation is such that when you turn 40, you move on to the next organisation. And despite people leaving, and people may get worried that, oh, how will this work continue? But year upon year, you see numerous improvements. And what you see before you today is just a testimony to that the ideas and the innovation that's gone on behind the scenes, a lot of those ideas have come from the next generation. So for me, I think just seeing that kind of year upon year improvement just shows, you know, one of the bounties of Allah.
So here we are, the National Ijtema, a place for every young boy and man to come together, grow spiritually, and worship even more meaningfully. And then and only then can each one of us, each khadim, be the change we wish to see, fighting together as one team beyond the volleyball, basketball courts and football teams, into a world where we start to be the voices, not a whisper or silent plea, but a roar into the skies as we defend the call of our duty to defend the honor of our faith and be the Khudam of the promised Messiah, the man destined to be the final day's light of the hour.
की तलाश